Welcome again to Elektro Vox. Today I'm at my second visit to Valhalla Viking Festival in Basingstoke, which was pretty good last year. We've only just arrived here on the Friday. It is looking twice as big as last year. The queue is massive, which is a good sign. So last year I was drawn, as you probably saw in my review, to this incredible voice just in the distance, and it was Solfyr, if I'm saying that correctly.
Thank you, Canis. Solfyr.
Solfyr. Okay. So for those at home that don't know you, as this is your first ever interview, could you tell us a little bit about what Solfyr is and who you are?
So I started singing when I was a teenager, and I used to listen to Evanescence. I'm a 90s kid, and yeah, she was definitely an inspiration to me when I began, and I just always felt really drawn to singing and the beautiful ethereal vocals. And as time went on, though I had incredibly intense stage fright, and I used to shake before I'd go on stage, and I used to shake worse when I come off.
Yeah.
But it's been a journey working through that. It's been a very healing journey for me to sing and to channel what I do. And yeah, so I started going to open mic nights, overcoming my fear that way, after singing in the shower for years.
Yeah.
And then my first ever festival was the Asgardian Festival. Now, unfortunately, the Asgardian Festival is no longer currently running, but some of the people who used to be involved with that festival now have festivals organised under Ace True UK.
Okay.
And the next one is in 2 weeks in Hellsmoot, and it is in Lincolnshire.
Oh, nice.
So, and with the singing, I think it's been an incredible journey overcoming the fear, but also one of the main things that got me through that is to know that having a healing gift, to be able to channel that when I'm up on stage, it just, I don't know where it comes from, it just kind of comes through me, and now the fear is just kind of melted away, so it's beautiful.
Yeah, you get that spiritual sort of like lift. Yeah. Okay. And so your wonderful EP, Drama, again, if I'm saying that correct.
You said better than what I can say it.
So yeah, Dream, for those that don't know. Your EP, I bought that straight away as soon as you mentioned it at Valhalla last year, which was incredible. I especially love the songs, if you listen to it, Sjóren and Kulning, because I think it was Kulning that I heard from a distance, and you know, just as you're calling the cows, here I'm coming, I'm listening. So can you
heard the call and you answered.
Exactly. So can you tell us a little about your thoughts on the songs that EP contains, and how you first got it started, and well, to completion basically?
So I've been singing now, I know this is bad, but I can't even remember how many years I've been performing now. I think it's about 6, 7, somewhere on there. Since I first did the Asgardian Festival, went up officially on stage.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I've been meaning to do an EP, and again, this is one of my biggest fears that I overcame because you go up on stage, you do it, it's done. But an EP or a CD, when you put that out there, it's a scary thing as a musician to do your first one, really, because once it's out, it's there forever.
Yeah.
Forever. And I wanted to make sure that I did something really, really good that I was proud of, and to try and do it justice. So lots of things, so lots of life lessons in between, and it all kind of happened synchronistically, as these things do, and the web of weird crossed.
Yeah.
And I had the right contacts and the right people around me. So I decided one January, as I was working in my part-time day job, I've been cleaning, and they tend to have really lovely echoey bathrooms.
Okay. Yeah.
I clean at a race course as like a part-time job, as well as doing all my creative stuff as well. And yeah, it's great for practicing while you're cleaning in these beautiful reverby, echoey bathrooms.
Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, you know what? I think it's time. I think I really need to get this recorded and out. So I messaged Will Hunter of The Vaki, as I was friends with Sadib lots a lot.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
And VC. And I asked VC, actually at Valhalla Viking Festival the previous year, before that January, I'd asked him who they'd done their recording with, and he said Will Hunter. Now, Will doesn't tend to promote this very much. He only does a few projects that he really likes and is interested with. So I thought, well, if I ask him, maybe he'll say yes, maybe no.
Yeah.
And to my delight, he said yes after he'd listened to a little snippet of home recorded stuff I'd done of the Kulning. He's like, yes, I'll fit you in and we'll do that. So I went August that same year, and it was a really hot day. So many litres of water were consumed while I did that. But I think the whole album is actually, funnily enough, about water.
Oh, yeah.
And channeling that element as well. And I decided to put the Skogafoss Icelandic waterfall on there, and Will goes across to Iceland a lot, so we did the recording of it in his studio, and it was so hot we couldn't do it upstairs in his studio. We had to come down and do it in his living room with the doors open.
Okay.
So he did a bit of Targo Harper, it's on Freyja, the first song. He just started to do a bit of Targo Harper. I started to do the singing, and it just really intuitively came together. He was like, yes, that too. And funnily enough, the Sjö song that you said is one of your favourites. That's
Yep.
I channeled the sea through that, and while I was singing the Sjö song, it's almost like a lullaby. Will fell asleep. So he'd lay down like this on the sofa. He'd hit record and he just lay down like this on the sofa, and he actually fell asleep because I just did my thing, intuitively channeled it through. And when I felt that it was time to finish the song, I then looked over. I was like, Will, and I had to poke him because he was asleep, and he was like, oh, he said, you definitely got the sleep song gift. I was
Means
like,
there's
yeah.
a version out there somewhere of you going, well, at the end of it.
Will. Yeah, there is.
Brilliant.
Outtakes. But yeah, the whole album, except for one of the songs, which is Hrafnar, which is an excerpt from the Grimnismal,
Yeah.
the stanza. The whole rest of it, I had no idea going in on that day what was going to happen, how I was going to do it. I had a general-ish idea, but the whole of the album pretty much is channeled intuitively,
Yeah.
and around that element of water.
Nice. Okay. Okay, and some of the other songs you've done include songs for the goddess Freya and for Skadi, which are beautiful. I absolutely love them. So are these two of the gods that you most resonate with, or do you have other gods that you resonate with, and why?
So, funnily enough, even though Freya is on the EP, I did the Skadi song first, as she is one of the first Norse goddesses that I heard about. As a kid, I remember I was in primary school, and there was a book in the library I was fascinated with, and it was all about the Norse legends and mythology, and it had a picture of a Viking ship.
Yeah.
With a raging sea, and then there was like the crew on there and a storm happening, and I don't know why it was in the library. It's not really a primary school book perhaps, but it was there, and I just really loved it. And Skadi was one of the most coolest Norse goddesses that I could think of. She's got wolves, she skis, she's in the mountains, she's got to do with winter, and beautiful Jotun giantess, really powerful figure, and I just thought she was just so awesome. I had to do a song about her, and I went up to my local studio, and that was actually the first song that I recorded for myself of my stuff, and it had been sat on my laptop for years.
Okay.
And then I thought, no, I've got to do this, and that was the first one I released on Bandcamp before the EP. And with Freya, I didn't plan to do the song about her, but as the song was developing, I intuitively and consciously, her name came through. You can hear it said at least once throughout the song, Freya. And when I was listening back to it, I could see in my mind's eye, I got goosebumps. It's not normally that I get goosebumps from my own music. And I was listening to it, and I just went on this kind of journey as I closed my eyes. I could see this raven flying over the mountains and the valleys, and Freya energy was just then. And I heard her name that I didn't even mean to put in the song come through, and I was like, that's her song. It's channeling the goddess Freya. Also, I find that there's many facets between all of us. We all kind of channel different facets of different deities, I believe, and we all have a spark of the divine within us.
Yeah.
Freya is the lady, and I feel like one of my missions is to channel the goddess, that beautiful goddess energy, and she's one of the ones that comes through.
Yeah, I certainly felt that when you were singing it last year.
Thank you.
And you've obviously, not obviously to everyone, but I've seen on your Instagram that you go to a lot of Viking events and pagan events.
It's crazy.
So what's next in store for you? What sort of events have you got coming up, or are you working on new music already, or are you sort of taking a break just for now?
So it's crazy busy at the moment with all of the projects and going to festivals back to back. Like I say, we've got Valhalla Viking Festival this weekend. In another 2 weeks we've got Hellsmoot, and then another couple of weeks is another one. So I decided that this summer I will be focusing on my live events, and then I've already written and channeled through some more music. I have so many snippets of songs on my phone, and I've decided now that for my winter project is to build a home studio, log cabin style, in the garden. Nice. And I will be doing a crowdfunder for that, because I really appreciate people being able to support the music and getting more out there.
Yeah.
So yes, all of the CD sales, all of the merch sales, everything of that is going towards building this studio.
Yeah.
So new music is definitely on the way.
Yeah.
It's just everything is falling into place at the right time.
Perfect. Personally, I've found that when it comes to music, especially sort of Nordic folk music, you know, everyone knows Wardruna and Heilung now because of just the effect that they have on people, and they seem to be bringing back paganism and heathenry in a huge way. Like, you see people almost everywhere wearing Mjolnirs and other signs of our gods now. But do you feel that your music is trying to do the same thing in bringing that connection to people, to spread sort of like the faith, as it were? Or what do you feel is like the main goal behind your music?
So the main goal behind my music is healing. It is healing. I feel that I've been given this gift at birth, and despite all the obstacles, despite any difficulties or challenges or personal fears that I might have, that it is my duty to channel this gift and to help others heal, and it also heals myself. And I feel very, very privileged and very honoured that I get to do what I get to do and go up on stage and channel that for people. And so many people afterwards, and this really helps, they come up to me, they tell me that they really enjoyed it, like yourself reading your review. I had tears in my eyes, because it really, really, you know, helps affirm that what you're doing is you're on the right path, and you are, like I said, despite all the difficulty and the hard things, because it's not easy being a musician. It's really not. There's a lot of work that goes into what you hear, and so many journeys and paths for people that goes into all of that, and I think people don't quite realise. But definitely when people come up to you afterwards with tears in their eyes, you know, and they're just like, you know, like you really touched me, you really, you know, helped me heal this, or that they'll come up to me afterwards. There was a guy I sang in a pub, and he had PTSD, soldier. I think he'd been out in Iraq, and he had PTSD, bless him, and he came up to me afterwards and he said, "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to be rude." He said, "I had to actually leave during your performance." He said, because he said that my mind went quiet. He said, and I felt peace, and I was scared of that peace because I'm not used to it. So he had to leave because it actually helped him heal, but he was so grateful. And it's just really, really lovely when people come up to you after you've performed, or they've listened to music, or they leave a comment like that, and it makes it worth it.
It does. And I mean, having said that, your EP, just when I'm having a bit of a mental health day, like that's not so great, like, you know, I do put on the music, and sometimes for me it's Heilung, but sometimes it's your music, because from start to finish, it is, as you say, just really peaceful. Because sometimes if you're having a bit of a depressed day, you don't really want to go listen to the Power of Wardruna or like, you know, Danheim. You want to listen to something peaceful. And yeah, your stuff is amazing for that. So yeah, well done.
Thank you, Candice.
That's okay.
I'm a fan of Heilung and Wardruna and Maikur, Katiran, Hellesir, all of those Nordic folk bands. They're very inspiring, but I still used to do the kind of stuff like Katiran and Hellesir. And also Heilung, when I heard Maria Franz's voice, I'm like,
oh yeah,
and Maikur as well, and I just heard them and I thought that's already what I'm doing and my own channeling through. So I think definitely we all kind of channel it from somewhere else. And I heard that years ago, and I've been meaning to do a CD for ages and ages, and they're so inspiring and beautiful, all of them. And I thought, yeah, that's exactly the kind of vein of branch of music that I want to do for myself. So that's what I just thought, you know, I'm just going to continue, but I definitely always want to be doing my own version of everything, and I believe I've achieved that with the Solfyr. Like I say, it wasn't a planned thing, it was completely intuitive.
Yeah, it's nice. And even so, who knows, hopefully the Web of the Weird will bring you a collaboration with them at some point, who knows.
maybe I would love to meet them in person, like Maria fans. I'd love to meet her.
Same, I'm still waiting for you to reply on the interview.
So I do have some collaborations coming up. They're in the works. I'm not going to tell you all of them. We'll see what comes to pass. But Lene from Hellesir, she reached out to me on Instagram, and she likes my music. I love her music. I'm a big fan. And I had a little fangirl moment when she followed me back on Instagram. I was just like, I feel so honoured and privileged that I get to know people in the scene as well, and when they follow you back, it's like I love Lene. She's such a beautiful soul, and her music is one of those where her music gives me goosebumps every time.
Yeah.
But she listens to my music, and she contacted me, and we got talking, and we got loads of like similar interests and things as well. And she said to me, she said, we need to do collaboration. She said, I'd love to do something really beautiful and ethereal, and I'm so looking forward to that. I think it's going to be amazing.
Oh, wonderful.
But it'll either be that once I've got my studio, that she'll come over. We'll probably go on a road trip and go finding more beautiful waterfalls as well. So either she comes over and we'll record something on my studio, or we might ask Will if he's available, or I'll go over there.
Yeah. Okay. And last question I had is just, do you have anything that you would like to say to the fans of your music?
I would like to say thank you. Thank you for everything, everyone, and all of the beautiful synchronicities that have brought me to this moment when I've been able to do my music, perform on stage, have a CD out. It's just such an honour to be able to channel that gift. So thank you for all your support and your continued support in getting more of this out, and I will keep singing. I will keep healing myself and others. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you ever so much, Amber, for speaking to me. It's been a pleasure, and yeah, just thank you for watching.
Thank you, Candice.
Thanks.